In 1966, I was only 13 years old, but my dad had just gotten a job at Rutgers from Kutztown, Pennsylvania. And I'd grown up on the Kutztown campus and the Bloomsburg campus, they're small Pennsylvania schools. But we got transplanted down to the Jersey Shore, Manasquan, nice town in North Jersey. But it's 45 miles from Rutgers. And my mom didn't have a car, so myself and my 6 sisters, we were just down at Manasquan, and Rutgers might as well have been in Michigan, right? But then finally the season starts. And I don't remember how my mom gets a car, but myself and my older sisters get to go to the first game of the season in 1966, which was traditionally Princeton at Palmer Stadium. 50,000 people in the stadium, 20, 30,000 tailgating outside, Rolls Royces, silver chafing dishes, all the Princeton alums in their beautiful orange blazers, a golden fall day in New Jersey, and now I'm walking around the Princeton campus and I'm gonna watch Rutgers play Princeton. Here's what I remember about the game. We go into the stadium, it's massive, at least to me as a 13-year-old. The crowd is into it from the first play, and it goes back and forth the whole game. And finally comes down to the last play of the game, and Princeton had one of the Gogolak brothers, Charlie and Pete, and they were both side saddle kickers. And I remember watching Gogolak line up this field goal to win the game, takes a side saddle step and boots some like 45-yarder that curves in over the goalpost. Princeton wins, the field is stormed, the goalposts are turned down, and I go, I'm gonna be playing in this game when I grow up, and I'm coming back and we're not gonna lose to Princeton. That's what I thought when I was 13. And then, you know, 5 years later, I got to come to Rutgers. When I was a senior, after the 1975 season, our basketball team, which featured Phil Sellers, Mike Dabney, James Bailey, all went on to the NBA. Ed Jordan, who's now the coach here, was an All-American. He went on to the NBA. And Hollis Copeland, who was a first-round draft choice of the Knicks. That basketball team captured this campus like you can't believe. Captured the nation. They ended up going to the Final Four, and they're still probably the best collection of athletes I've ever seen. And I was a member of the Deke House at the time, and we would go en masse from the Deke House, walk up to the barn, which was 2 blocks away, and watch the greatest basketball you ever saw. And one of my fondest memories is my wife, who was then my girlfriend, came for the last game against St. Bonaventure's, which was, we were undefeated. And if we beat St. Bonnie's, who was a real good team, we'd finish undefeated and go to the NCAAs as an undefeated team. After the game, we went back to the Deke House and stood on the porch, and then the team, the basketball team, which won, was placed on the roof of a bus that was then surrounded by 5,000, 6,000 students walking down College Avenue with that bus so that those team members could ring the bell. And I think it was like the first time in 50 years that the bell had been rung by athletes at Rutgers. And it looked like that bus was being transported in a sea of human beings right down College Avenue, Old Queens, where they went up at like midnight and rung the bell. You can go there now and you can see their name signed on the door that lets you go upstairs to where the bell is kept. That was a great memory. Going to Rutgers was great. There was always something going on. It was, you know, movies, lectures, dances, parties, protests, burning your draft card, streaking. Rutgers was a happening place in the 70s, and we were at the center of a lot of stuff, and that's one of the things that attracted me when I was being recruited. Rutgers was like a big environment, and there was a lot going on politically at that time as well. So it might have been the 3rd or 4th day of classes, and I'm walking from Demarest down College Avenue to get a bus, because you have to bus everywhere then. And I think it was the bus to practice, but I don't remember for sure. And I get to the old Queens campus, this is where the president's office was and still is. It's where the bell is that they ring if there's a big event, and it was at the time the center of the universe here in Rutgers, New Brunswick. And going on is this massive student protest and the takeover of the president's office going on. And I remember walking onto the old Queens campus asking like 4 or 5 people, like, what's going on? What are you guys protesting? And the answer was, we don't know, man, we're just taking over the president's office. So I sat down and watched just to say that I did it, and to this day I still don't know what I was protesting, but it was a good moment.